So we have Lou, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Little terrier guy, our little girl, right?
Yeah, here.
Little terror, yeah.
Show her over here. She's a terror.
She's cute.
Yeah, that's how she gets away with everything.
2 years old. She looked pretty small too, 20 pounds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead and fill me in on little Lou.
So from the get-go, she's had reactivity problems with dogs. When she was under a year old, she had her first issue where she bit his cousin, but because he was a big man coming into the house unannounced, and when she sees other dogs on leash, she has a history of biting Andrew's legs and then immediately backing down, because it's kind of from the training that we've done so far, it's been described to us as a blackout situation where her levels get so beyond her threshold that she just freaks out and has a panicky reaction and gets anything in her way to try to
she gets aggressive when she sees a dog. She
or hears a dog. She's gotten better bit by bit over time, but it's kind of at the point where we're all right, we need to, this dog is going to live for a while. And so we'd like to try to make her life better and our lives better. She's made a couple of dog friends, but only after very slow, long intros, because they live on the other side of the fence.
Yeah.
Good. That's definitely good to hear. Good job.
Yeah, it was a heart-melting moment and a sigh of relief when we saw that she could make a dog friend and not care about a dog standing next to her for the first time ever. It was huge. But it's only happened twice with just with the dog that lives on the other side of us.
And she hasn't met the other dog. We've only actually been able to comfortably introduce her to other dogs,
just that one time.
Just one time with our neighbor. We got her 2 months before COVID, and so it kind of
we didn't have a good time to socialize her well.
And seeing how she reacts just on walks, I mean, like she said, she freaks out, and I would typically get in the way just because I don't want anything to happen.
We know that's not what you're supposed to do, but just to protect what's going on. So we're not positive if it's just a barrier thing, an on-leash aggression and a fence fighting thing, because we've only had one interaction with her in a non-apprehended situation with another dog ever.
Okay.
So we're not sure if it's a barrier thing or
not. So the other dog behind a barrier? She's got to know the other dog that she's hung out with before through a fence. Oh. And because they're next door neighbors, so they got to know each other through the fence over time.
And then we
went
went over to their backyard and introduced her. We put a muzzle on her just to make sure, but she didn't even have any. She didn't have any issues.
She proved that she could be cool with this other dog on leash with the other dog. And so that's when we allowed them to be off leash together.
But basically we don't feel comfortable introducing her to other dogs just because we don't know how she'll react or how those dogs will react, because
so we're scared for both.
It could go either way. So we've just kind of been at a standstill where when we take her out on walks, we scout out and make sure there's no dogs. I mean, if there are, we prep ourselves, we sit her down and keep her calm. She can, most of the time, if a dog's across the street, I mean, we can get her to sit down and make eye contact with us. But she is she's starting to bark and trying to
you can see her working really hard, but it's a lot of work for her to hold it in, and it's a lot of work for us to help her to hold it in, and she almost always erupts. It's just her eruptions are more
manageable than they used to be, but they're still there. We've never had an instance where she sees another dog close up on a walk and she doesn't like freak out to the point where everyone around us is like, whoa.
Yeah, I mean, she jumps up, we walk her with a halty and a choke collar. So we have both of those. And
it looks like overkill because she's so small, but it's like better to try to control her and try to get her focus back to us as much as possible. But so that's where we're at. Sorry, that was very long-winded.
Well, it's all stuff that I need to hear, and it's good stuff to hear. Anything else I should know about Lou? Back to, or if you want, back to she bit your cousin, or what happened there? Or was that the dog, or?
Yeah,
this was her. So this was what's that?
A person.
A person. When we first got her, I noticed. So this was like 5 months into us owning her, 5 or 6 months into us owning her, and
last summer, yeah.
And she had some apprehension to big men,
which is
and still out on walks. Sometimes she reacts to men in a certain way, like she'll just
if their energy is a little aggressive or heavy or direct, she doesn't like it.
She hasn't had that instance since then, or even a sign of that. But basically what happened was we brought her to Michigan, so she was in a new place, and my cousin just barged in the door, and he was a big man and just has a big voice and just started saying something, and she freaked out and went and attacked him because she didn't know who this person was, and they just came in. So I think, and we haven't.
It was like a jump, grab, jump again, grab another spot, jump again, grab another spot before we got her, because she didn't have a collar on at the time because we had just woken up. So it was like, luckily he's a big dude, he's a dog guy, he gets it. He was like, oh, I probably scared the heck out of her. Like, still unacceptable, but then thank God it was him of all people. But like, yeah, not good. It was like a freak out, and like I woke up to it and the noise was insane. Like, it was not a good sitch. Yeah.
But nothing. She hasn't really exhibited any human aggression.
That was the only. Yeah. She loves people. She was just like, she was, I think, both scared, caught off guard, and being hyper protective because she had never seen this person, and he was a big guy, and she had never experienced people entering the house who she didn't know. He looked like an intruder to her. It was, because we had been in quarantine. She like didn't know what the heck was going on, but it was still like obviously unacceptable.
Yes, yeah. But she's fine with strangers walking in your home.
She'll still bark and
we always
we
prep
just
her.
we haven't had any incidents.
We don't like let this situation arise where we're not prepping her for that to happen. Like, anytime anyone comes over, we have her on leash anyway but like, there's been times where friends are in the backyard, she didn't know they were there, we tell her that there's people back there, we let her see them, and then we let her run out, and she's just friendly and excited. So she's like cool with meeting strangers in our space. For some reason, for a long time, it was just weird having someone enter unannounced, which maybe that's good, but
yeah. Although now that I come to think about it, we recently moved, and she, it was a lot for her to go through, but the movers, they were walking in and out of our house, and there was a time where we had her on her lead that was like staked in the middle of the yard, and she would bark at them constantly. And I grabbed her on, get out of there, and he walked by her, and she kind of went for him a bit, and so that
we got her, but yeah, she.
Sorry, I think you guys were like talking like slow motion. I don't know what's going on, but
really? Sorry.
That maybe the internet connection. Is it better?
Oh, there you go.
We're good.
I hear you.
Is it back? No.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Sorry. Sometimes our internet gets weird.
Yeah, it was funny. You guys were like talk, fucking
We just got really chill for a second.
You said Lou was in the yard, like, you know, tethered, and then she was barking, and then you said someone walked by and she went at them.
She
Right?
went
Yeah,
for
she
him.
went
She
for him.
lunged for him.
I had her, so she didn't get him, but yeah,
She'd
she
been seeing
went
this
for
guy
him.
move all day, and for some reason, at that point,
This one guy.
it was just this one guy.
One
There were,
guy,
like, a
she
bunch of them.
couldn't. The other two, she was fine with. She was
Yeah.
barking, but she never got like.
So we just removed her from the situation.
Yeah, we just got her up there.
It was probably
But-
like loading up. So like,
Yeah,
okay,
it was just.
yeah. Another guy, okay, whatever. I'm still uncomfortable. Another guy, oh great, now there's two guys, and then a third guy, I'm already uncomfortable.
That seems to be her problem, and she's obviously like an anxious dog already, like, and which is common with terriers, like, because she's the lookout. She's got to make sure everyone's good. She's constantly checking on us, and so if there's like a thing at the, like, we put privacy film up on the front window because the constant stimulation of looking out the window.
She
and
can't.
seeing-
Yeah, she can't see a
handle
dog out the window and not
not
bark to the
at it.
point where like she's getting like hoarse. You know, she won't stop herself from barking.
Yeah,
at the dog.
she's like an alarm dog and she won't stop. So we have to, in order for her to keep her energy chill and low in the house and for her to feel safe enough to be calm in the house, we just put up privacy film so she can't stay out the front, and that solves it. So that her threshold is lower, not already high.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anything else?
Well, basically, we're just wondering, with all that said, so we're going out of town on Wednesday evening. And so we've known that we can't take her to a normal boarding place because, I mean, maybe she could handle it once the Band-Aids ripped off, but we don't want to put that responsibility in the hands of a boarder that doesn't have experience with this. Oh, not now.
I
Can
can
you?
still-
Okay. So we're wondering if you guys would be able, well, you specifically, if you feel like, because we do have a plan B option for her if this doesn't work for her. Like, we found someone who can just like watch her and keep her just separate from the other dogs and just like her little companion the whole time, but not be training her, just as like a boarding situation. Which still makes us a little nervous. We'd prefer, like, this is our dream scenario, is if you guys could take her while we're gone, and if you think that the amount of time spent with her and with what you offer in your board and train services, if it's possible to, or if you feel like you could have success with socializing her a bit, with helping with her with the reactivity, because the reason we'd be looking for a trainer aside from boarding, this just seems like a good double whammy, would be to rip the Band-Aid off of socialization and like have a professional who knows what they're doing, because we don't feel prepared to, we don't feel competent enough to put another person's dog in jeopardy. Mm-hmm. Because of our dog. Like, we'd rather a professional handle the beginning of that and have us take over what she learns and what you guys figure out is the right tool for her.
Yeah.
What were we gonna say?
Well, we also just don't know a dog that would be a good introduction.
None of our friends' dogs
Yeah,
are trained
so
well
we just
enough.
don't have.
Yeah, we're like the only people we know in our friend group who's like training their dog. So we don't really have like a good dog to like work with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that can be done. We'll get like here and there, because it also depends on the day, like, and who's here, you know. Mm-hmm. So we've got, I think, an employee who's got a good dog we can use. So if they're here, we can use their dog, or like daycare dogs, or the dogs that are in training, we use them as well. But definitely Lou will be muzzled. The dog, you know, we know who, we have like our dogs that we use for the socialization, and everything will be filmed for you to see. just so that you're seeing everything happen and like what we're doing and like signals to look out for, and then because there's some things that are like, oh god, is that good or bad? You know, you don't know, and then we'll clarify for you that in the videos.
Yeah, like tail wagging stuff and when it's good and when it's bad. Yeah.
Because for example, tail wagging, a lot of owners think, oh, tail wagging, they must be
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Which is incorrect most of the time.
Yeah.
Tail wagging can be like something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, that can definitely be done. We get like now we're getting like 30 to 40 dogs here at our daycare, and they're all here. Like there's no like dogs in the back, whatever. They're all here. So Lou will definitely get a lot of exposure to dogs in the facility. What else? But yeah, I mean, Kim said, our kennel manager said we have availability. So again, you're free to come Wednesday, and then like I said, we would just need like the shot records, fecal exams, and then I think I already told you, but we have e-collars here. So you don't need to order your e-collar. You can just take one off the shelf and just get started right away.
Okay.
For the muzzle, what kind of muzzle do you guys have? Is it like a?
It's just a little fabric muzzle because she's got such a short nose that like the big ones went up into her eyes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna want to pick up probably we have some here, but for yourself, you'd want to get we use Baskerville. That's the brand, and it's just like a little basket, and we have small ones. So the reason why we like the basket ones is because they can open their mouth. So if a dog is stressed, they'll close their mouth.
Yeah.
But then when they release their stress, they pant. They had to let it out. So if they're forcing their mouth to be closed the whole time, it's very hard for them to like let out that stress to vent.
Yeah.
And they can also drink water from this muzzle. They can eat food. And then another thing we like about it is that the dogs think they can use their mouth because they can open it. So if they want to try something, they're going to try it. Because with the closed ones, they know that their mouth is closed. They cannot open it. So then they're not going to try anything. But then with the basket one, they feel like they can do something. So they're going to try something. So it's good to see. What else are you looking to accomplish? So socializing, the reactivity, and then anything else?
Well, I guess we're just curious. So I didn't know that like I'm curious what her day at board and train with you guys would look like, because I didn't know that like the daycare dogs and them are all out in the open. I figured they were like penned or something for most of the day, like in a kennel. But like how much time is spent where, how much time is in the crate, like what does it look like?
Yeah. So I didn't mean like all the dogs they're not like loose or anything. Like it's so when you walk in the daycare, there's kennels, got like 50-40 kennels, a big playpen, a small playpen, and another playpen, and then the training floor. And in the middle of all these playpens in the training floor is a little like space where we have columns and like little beds for dogs to do duration work. We have treadmills on the side of one playpen, so dogs know how to do treadmills. And then we're all basically in this like main area. So it's usually an hour of activity and an hour of rest. So for Lou, it'll be a little different. There will be a lot more activity because training. But for a regular daycare dog, they come, they're in the kennel until 10, right? At 10 a.m. we start play group, running them out, play, right? An hour of playtime, and then after that, hour in the kennel. And then after that, they can do treadmill, duration work, if they're trained by us, or another play group, just depending on what's going on there. But that's our structure, right? We have 40 dogs here, right? 30 dogs, 40 dogs, and you'll walk in and it's quiet. There's no whining, there's no barking, there's no one messing up the kennels. Playtime is very structured. We only allow 8 to 12 dogs in there. Allow other places, like you walk in the room, there's 30 dogs all loose running around. It's crazy. So we don't allow big play groups like that. And here and there for our play groups, if we get a whole bunch of like, we put a lot of dogs with energy, for like 30 minutes, they play crazy. At 30-minute mark, we, whoever's in the playpen, will shut down the play time, make everyone rest in the play group, and then after that, they start to play again, but they're more calm. So we're able to control a lot of things in our facility. What else? And then Lou will also get training walks because although, we'll get success here, obviously, but then doesn't matter if when we go outside, right, it doesn't work. So we need to do the training walk, expose Lou to people, dogs, everything out here. We'll also be taking Lou to Home Depot, PetSmart. They're all right here around the corner, so it's very nice. So that'll be part of Lou's program here. Does that answer your question? Like what goes on throughout?
Yeah. So you said that like, so there'd be more activity with Lou than an average daycare day. What like?
Because of training, they'd be doing other training activities rather than just playing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, because the walks, they don't come with a regular day of daycare. They have to pay for that.
Okay, gotcha.
Like for you, you're paying for training. Like, that's what we like to focus on. Like we're a training facility,
right?
We always like to like focus on training, and because you got to get your money's worth of everything.
That's honestly like we're like, whoo, we're biting off like a big thing here, and so yeah, that's honestly like what we're looking at is like, is it gonna be like, are we? Not that you can guarantee results, but we're just like curious about like. Yeah, like what is like what their day is, like what her stay will be like, and like is it going to be worth it for us?
Do you get a lot of aggressive dogs in this board and train situation, or?
Here and there we'll get like a really bad board and train or daycare and train. Right now he just finished his program. He was like, I don't know what breed he was, like a pit mix, but he was like more heavy and tanky. But he was tall. He was pretty intense.
Required a lot of attention.
Yeah, he required a lot of time and sweat.
Yeah.
But he was just very didn't like being told what to do. And usually, you'll get the dog that you hear that, like, my dog doesn't like doing what they're told to do. They like to misbehave, and it's just like mouthing, barking, pawing, running away. But this dog was like, no, you're not gonna do that. So there's a lot of like, there's like a muzzle training. He would like go at me here and there, and then it's all on video and everything. You see how we work him through that, and you see his progress. Like you see week 1, he's really intense. Week 2, very easy, nothing.
Yeah.
So we have experience, right? Even like our in-person clients, the one-on-ones who do experience aggression, they board their dogs here all the time because they trust us, because we train their dog, we know what we're doing with the e-collar, and we handle this stuff all the time. So then we get we're not training them, but we know how to handle if there was like a moment, if the dog had a moment, we know what to do. So there are a few dogs here that like, we've got one, his name's Doug. He was human reactive and human aggressive. But here now, I mean, we keep the e-collar on it, but he doesn't need the muzzle anymore. We haven't had any issues since training. What else?
I guess, how long, so what's the time? So we're only going to be gone for 10 days, but we can't do a 10-day stay with you guys, right? It has to be longer or shorter. Okay.
So the board and train program goes by 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, or 4 week. Lou sounds like he might need a 2-week board and train program. And it just depends on how he's progressing. But I say minimum 2 week, see how he's doing, because 10 days isn't that much time. Because with e-collar training, there is a hump. There's a hill in the beginning, right? Lou is gonna show his true colors when we start e-collar training, right? Because no one likes being disciplined. No one, they don't like being told what to do. And e-collar is a stressor, right? So it stresses the dogs out and they show us their stress response. Could be flight, could be anxiety, could be aggression, could be anything, right? Lou, already hearing what he's kind of been doing, right? I expect maybe a little bit of like fight, maybe.
She is really like, you can see her like trying, like when you're able to get her focus, when it's not consumed in whatever she's reacting to, you can see her like working and trying. But it's yeah, I get what you're saying. Sometimes with
she gets to that level real quick.
Yeah,
it's hard to
Yeah, and maybe not even like, I didn't mean like fight like she's gonna be attacking. I mean like it's gonna be there's gonna be like a hump, like I think
a little fight against it.
Yeah, a little anxiety here and there. But it's important for us to overcome that. So then she's like, oh, that's all we have to do, and that's a dog over there. They don't do anything to me. That's fine.
Yeah.
Because at 10 days, it's we need more time to get over that. Because if we stop right there, she never gets over it, and then you're gonna pick her up, and she's still gonna be a little bit tense.
Yeah.
There. So I think a little longer, like the 2-week board and train, or like maybe like 3-week, depending. And socializing. It's good to hear that she has made friends, right? It would be a lot worse if she hasn't made any friends at all. But that the fact that she can make a friend is good. We can't make Lou play, right? That's on her. What we can do is make her not attack a dog or get into a fight.
That's all we want, is to be able to walk past another dog and have her not care. Or at least not react.
Yeah. And we always tell the owners this just in case they're assuming that we can like make, like, because a lot of owners will send their dog to a board and train, and then they're expecting like a new car coming out, right? That's not how dog training works, right? Because there's like, we do all the work here, we get the foundation done, we do a lot of work, right? But then after the board and train, there's follow-up lessons. So we teach you what she knows, and all these follow-up lessons are taking place at Oz Park. Do you guys know Oz Park?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So all the follow-up lessons are taken up there. We love Oz Park because everything is there. There's dogs, off-leash dogs, rollerbladers, scooters, bikes. There's like baseball parks. Everything is there. So if you can train your dog at Oz Park, you can do anywhere. But yeah, everything is filmed. So during Lou's stay, Lou will learn heel, stay, sit, down, place, and then recall, and then the socialization stuff, and then like addressing the reactivity. So
what is it called? Is it called off-leash foundational, or is it on-leash foundational? What the name for your 2-week program?
And then what do you guys know about e-collar?
So the reason I heard about you guys was because I actually saw, who is the other trainer? Jesse. I saw him training someone. We used to live right by Palmer Square. So I saw him training like a Great Dane there. And then I talked to the owner afterwards. And he was like, honestly, this is a lot. Like, we didn't want to have to go to this extent holding the e-collar, but like, we should have done it 6 months ago. So then we started looking into you guys. So we know that it's meant to, like, you can change you got to train how you use it. You can't just start using it. And that you like find the right level for them to respond to. And then you're supposed to just use it as a don't do that until they realize what the consequence is and they make the right choice kind of a thing. Like, it's just a temporary thing, hopefully. Is that correct?
I think I know what you're trying to say. Sure. I think what you're saying is right. Some of it was like, maybe, but yeah, it's it's not like the old, like the common term is like shock collar, right?
Yeah.
That's an old school term. Jesse likes to call the collar electric, but not electricity. So it's not flowing to the dog's body. Have you guys ever been to a chiropractor or a physical therapist?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're a TENS unit or like STEM?
I don't think so.
It's like a electric little patch that like contracts the muscle and moves.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah,
I
I know
have
what
used that. Okay, yeah.
That same technology is e-collar. So it's used on humans. Chiropractors and physical therapists, the way they kind of go about it is, they tell the client, let me know when it's too high or too uncomfortable. And once the client says, okay, that's enough, they lower it 2 levels down and they let the machine do its work. It's very similar to how we do e-collar training. Again, it's electric, but not electricity. So the collar is just like, the box, the collar, the strap, and you got 2 contact points. Whatever the 2 contact points are touching is what it's contracting. Again, it's not flowing to the dog's body. So if I had it on my hand, I would just feel it here. And if I keep increasing it, you'll start to see my thumb like start to twitch because it's getting stronger. The brand we use is called Dogtra. Lou would probably be like the little guy collar, maybe. It all depends on like the breed, size, and then the behavioral issues we're dealing with. So it's good that you're doing the boarding train as well, so we can experiment with collars, right? Because since he's a little one, if we did the big boy collar, it'd be pretty big on his neck, right?
Yeah.
But then let's say we're doing a little collar and we're finding that when he has moments, it's not enough power outlet. It's not enough power.
Right.
And then we do the big collar, and then we can like start to address behaviors.
Yeah. Because she needs a big consequence to pull her out. Yeah.
So the collars go, the maximum level is 127. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 127.
Oh, wow.
There are other collars out there that maybe go up to 10. So think of 10 and 127, the power equal. We just have so many more numbers to be more specific to the dog, personality, the situation, and we can very like pinpoint what number will actually work in different scenarios and different days and everything like that. Because with a 10 leveled e-collar, like 5 is making Lou yelp, but then 4 is not working, so then you're stuck.
Yeah.
For us, 50 is too high, 40 is too low. We can go to 45, 42, or 43.
Okay.
Any questions about e-collar? Oh, it's waterproof, rechargeable. You don't need batteries. 1 mile to a half mile long range, I believe. I think it's 1 mile.
Oh wow.
What else?
That's crazy.
Any questions about the e-collar?
No, we're not super scared about the e-collar. We think that, we tried the slip chain collar as the next step up, and it helps. It definitely helps with her training, but she needs a bigger, this is what you get if you do those things.
Yeah, and that's the common thing, and it's good for owners to try everything so that they know, right? Because positive only is such a low feeling, right? And they can get what's the word? A lot of owners get discouraged about it because everyone's promoting positive only. Don't discipline your dog. Food. It should work. Every dog does it, and they're like, it doesn't work for me. I don't know what to do. And if it does work, it's going to take years. And then, like you said, then we move on to like slip chain, prong collar, these things. It's a good step forward, but then sometimes, like what you're experiencing, the dog can be so far gone that amount of pressure and consequence isn't enough. So
and so we're worried that we've been reinforcing her bad behavior by not training it properly, and so that's why we're like, okay, let's do this now.
Yeah.
And it's good you're starting now, instead of like and there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just funny to hear like when we hear a behavior like, oh, how long has your dog been doing this? 7 years. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Because then you're going against 7 years of that behavior, so it's very difficult. What is it? What else? So for a lot of this stuff, reactivity, the way we would address reactivity is teaching her heel. So heel is walk with me, stay with me, sit when I stop. If I take 5 steps, you take 5 steps. If I take 10, Lou takes 10. If I come to a stop, Lou's to automatically sit next to me, right shoulder parallel with my left leg, loose leash in any environment, no words. So it's very strict, so strict that the idea is that it is so strict that nothing else matters, because she's like, I need to be here. I can't focus on anything else. I need to be here. I need to focus on mom or dad. So a lot of clients, that's why they'll ask, like, why are you going to teach my dog to walk nice if my dog is aggressive or barking, whatever, right? That's the idea. Because technically they're right. You know, we have obedience and we have behavior. Do you guys know the difference between obedience and behavior?
Sort of. Go ahead, though.
For humans, obedience is math, science, and English. And then behavior is like, don't lie, don't steal, don't cheat, and don't kill, right? You wouldn't teach someone who's like a murderer math problems to be a better person. They don't connect. So same thing with dogs. Sit down, stay, doesn't fix. My dog is attacking other dogs or like biting humans, right? So a lot of times dog is barking, they're saying sit, 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 right? But sit doesn't mean stop barking. Sit means just sit, but they're still going to be thinking about barking, and they can still bark when they're sitting. The goal is, hopefully when I say sit, the barking will stop because they're sitting, or I'm telling them to do something, right? But they won't do that.
It means all those things, yeah. So you can like put a command into a word that right now we haven't been teaching that word means all those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else? So the heel would, be like the base, the foundation of everything, right? It's a very important command for like the reactivity and everything else. But again, in her stay here, she'll learn the heel, stay, sit, down, places, go to your bed, don't move.
Yeah.
And recall. Any other questions? Any questions?
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
So with the 2-week, 3-week, or 4-week boarding training, it depends on Lou. I do recommend 2-week. I don't know if you guys are just like, or you guys just wanted to do the 10 days, or?
I think we'll do the 2. I think we're gonna do the 2 weeks. Yeah.
Okay. But you're gonna be gone for 10 days, correct?
Yeah, we're gonna be gone from Wednesday evening to the next Friday evening.
Okay. So again, the boarding train comes to follow-up lessons, and you can schedule these follow-up lessons anytime you want. So let's say you leave and then you come back, you can schedule a follow-up, when you come back, if you want, see how our progress is doing. We can, update you and everything. And then if you want to be caught up, or if you just want to wait till the full 2-week program is done and over with, then we can do the follow-up like upon arrival, upon pickup, or like schedule it ahead of time, or if I get that set up. What else?
Is there any possibility we could bring her tomorrow, or would it have to wait until Wednesday?
Have you guys filled out any forms yet?
Yeah, we did everything that Kim asked to do, and I emailed the vaccination records too, but I'm gonna bring them in case they emailed wrong.
And then when did you email them?
Just like right before this meeting.
Oh, okay. I mean, technically, yeah. We would just need some sort of payment before.
Okay.
Before that, and then really quick, before I forget, is Lou kennel trained or crate trained?
Yeah,
crate trained. Yeah.
She's crate trained. She stays in there when we're gone, when we're sleeping.
Okay. Has she ever stayed somewhere else overnight?
Not away from us since we've gotten her. This would be the first time. We've gone other places, and she's used to being out of the room with us, like not in the same room. But since we've moved here, for the past week and a half, she's been in the same room as us because it's a new place and we're getting her acclimated to it.
Yeah.
But so she might.
We've had friends watch her at our place, but that's the only instance. She hasn't gone someplace else and stayed without us.
She was rough the first 2 nights with us not being there, and then after that she was totally fine and normal the rest of the nights.
Okay. And what do you mean rough? Like
she just was barking intermittently throughout the night and waking up.
Barking and whining and not eating.
Yeah, she had like her stress responses to her appetite goes way down. She definitely lost weight while we were out of town.
Okay. We did have one incident that was recently. Board and train did not eat or drink water for like days. And then at that point, it's like, because usually a lot of the times it'll happen, but then they eventually just give in, like, okay, well, I got food now. And I already know what this place is, so I'm fine. But this guy did not. Like, he was not just, no, I'm not going to eat. And he wasn't like his behavior was normal. He was goofy. You know, he liked the handlers, like, after the few days, because he was very, very timid his first day. But then it's like, all right, this guy's not eating, this guy's not drinking water. We need to do something, because then this is like a big like risk. Like, there's something can happen. So we ended up, like, you know, I had to go to went to the vet, stayed there for a little bit, and he came back. And then this guy starts eating now, so it's just like, it was just fun. But you can program. So it's, again, if you know, you'll get notifications as well. If a dog doesn't eat breakfast or dinner, you get an email, did not eat breakfast, the date, and then the meal, breakfast or dinner. So you'll get to see these updates, and then that's a good heads up though that will happen. I'm assuming it'll happen either way.
Yeah, she's a finicky eater as it is. She often like will feed her. We started feeding her all at once because then she just picks when she's going to eat it throughout the day.
Okay.
She doesn't have a very strict. We tried giving her a feeding schedule, and she just wouldn't.
For almost a year, we stuck to this feeding schedule, and she wouldn't stick to it. And so then we just recently started just feeding her once in the morning, and she usually eats it at night. After she poops, she'll go and she'll eat probably.
Okay, what was the feeding schedule?
It was one portion in the morning and one portion in the evening.
Oh, and you guys just
we'd give it to her and leave it out for a little bit and then take it away.
We tried that to show her that it wasn't going to be there forever, and that didn't work. And so then eventually it was just like we would just feed her dinner on top of her breakfast because she hadn't eaten it yet, and then she decided she wanted to eat at like 10 o'clock at night.
Sometimes she'll eat, we're taking her out before we go to bed, and she'll just decide.
Oh, I forgot my food was there, and then she'll go and she'll eat it, and then go to the bathroom before bed, and then go to bed.
So she's a little weird about food.
Yeah, she's weird about food.
I don't know if I don't know if that's us doing something incorrect,
probably.
But just a heads up about that. So.
Okay. Any other questions?
No.
So Kim comes in at 11 a.m. tomorrow. So for the board and trains, you can technically drop them off whenever you want before 7 p.m. I would have to wait for Kim because it's just on Kim.
Is it just better? You just advise waiting until Wednesday morning, just so it's like the most days included in like the first day that we drop her off of the 2-week period.
It doesn't. It's not a big deal. They'll still be trained done tomorrow if they come. Either way. What else? But Lou, just to clarify, Lou's only reactive to dogs, right?
Yeah, and well, animals. Like, we don't have a cat, but anytime she sees a cat, she freaks out at the cat. She's got a like super high prey drive. She's a hunter, so she's killed 2 squirrels and 2 rats so far.
Cool. What was I about to say? For her stay, it'll just be food and directions on how to feed her.
Okay.
We have the bowls, we have the pails, any medications if necessary, but we're not taking any blankets or toys or any of those, any items just because they get misplaced. Or we've had clients say, hey, here's my bed. And then we're like, are you sure you want us to put a bed here? Does your dog chew the bed? Like, no, that's never happened. But since the dog gets stressed when they stay at a strange place, they end up chewing the bed. And then it's like, all right, well, Now we have to watch for the dog's stools, because now what if they ingested something? Like, it becomes a
Yeah.
whole.
Lou chews at her bed when she gets stressed. She eats it.
But she doesn't eat it.
Oh, she doesn't eat it. She just tears it apart.
She just tears it apart.
Okay. So socializing, reactivity, the basketball muzzle we have here, e-collar. What else? And then, is it a slip chain or like a prong collar? What did you say you have?
Slip chain.
Slip
She has a
chain.
martingale collar and a slip chain collar.
Okay, and a head halter.
Yeah, it's like an easy walker. Not an easy walker, a halter. Yeah, like a little halty muzzle that goes up behind your ears.
Okay. So upon arrival, let's say you do come tomorrow. I'll just tell you now, when you bring Lou in, just have her muzzled, just in case. What else? And then if whoever's here, if there's like a difficulty, or like, I don't think there will, because Lou's not reacting to humans. Trying to think.
If there's another dog in the room, that she's gonna make a scene about it. But I'm sure that that's not uncommon with dropping dogs off.
I think, because usually when dogs come in here, they see the first dog, they react, but then they realize, oh, this is a social setting. This is not my area. There's dogs everywhere. Then they start to like calm down. Like, okay, I know. I think I know what's going on. Become like activated quicker. But I mean, I think Lou will be fine. I'm not sure. I don't think you'll need to muzzle her, because again, she's only reactive to the dogs. I think like when you said she like bit my cousin, like threw me off. So I'm stuck on that. But
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're good. It's good to know. Anything else?
No,
I think
that's it.
Yeah.
Cool. And then again, remember, I tell you that everything's videotaped, recorded. All the commands are recorded. All the sessions are recorded. And then once that video is out, we'll send it out to you. You get to watch how she's doing and everything. What else? Oh, some common questions other clients have. After training, and you brought it up a little bit, after training, will the e-collar come off, or is it on all the time, or like when is it on, right? So it's on when you need it. So right now, if Lou is fine, she's an angel in the house, then you don't need the e-collar. But when you go on walks, the e-collar will always be on even after the training, right? Just because we can't predict what's going to happen on these walks, right? You're not going to be pressing the button all the time after training, or you shouldn't be. Like for me or Jesse, our dogs are already trained, so we only press the button like, I don't know, once every 2 months, once every month for emergencies maybe, but we're not pressing the button all the time. It's just there for emergencies. So like say you're on a walk, and then let's say a car crash happens and Lou gets freaked out, and then she bolts, and then you get caught off guard, and like the leash, like let's say you have a loose leash, you have a loose grip because you've been having great walks, right? But then this happens and you're freaked out, and the leash slips out of your hand.
Yeah.
Horror stories. We've heard a lot of stories, right? When dogs are in flight mode, and that's what she's in, they're thinking kill or be killed. So, hey, Lou, come will not make her just turn around and come back to you. It's going to take power of that remote to stop her from running away and get her to do that 180 and come back to you. It's going to take a lot of power to override the brain.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it's on when you need it. For the walks, we can't predict what's going to happen, so it'll be on. Or maybe you turn a corner and there's a dog there, right? You need to be ready for that and kind of have control there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
there's something that I wanted to ask. When you were, it's called foundational off leash. So I know that this isn't going to be like, you're not going to be able to achieve her to be like it's not like advanced off leash or anything like that. But like, she's a runner. Like
if she gets an opportunity, like she's trained to not go out the front door when we're going in and out the front door, and we train her to sit and wait until we give her clearance to go when we let her out to go to the bathroom.
But she's still
But
looking
she
for
looks for every opportunity to go, and she like when she goes, and she'll only stop for other people that she gets excited about seeing, and we have to be like, can you please grab her, and they'll grab her for us. But if she gets the idea that you are coming for her, she will run, and she thinks it's a game. So I don't know if that's addressed at all, or if that's like future training down the road. That's not what foundational off leash is about, right?
So that means that e-collar in general, it's already getting her off leash trained, right? Just because we're not using the leash for training, we're using the e-collar. In the videos, you'll see that I have the leash on, but I give her a lot of leash and I'm not using it. It's just here just to keep her with me. I don't use it like this, or you'll see me doing positioning, like, shaping behaviors, but I'm not controlling her like with like my arm, like how owners do. Because usually when owners walk their dog, you'll see them, they're like this the whole time.
Yeah.
They're like this, right? And you'll see me, I'm just relaxed. The leash is there, but I'm not using it. So we're only relying on the e-collar. So technically, we're already building to off leash. Does that make sense? Because we're not using it.
Yeah.
So since she's here for 2 weeks, obviously our priority is the socialization and the reactivity, but she'll also get to do her second week here will be the long leash phase, where we give her a 30-foot long leash, and now we say, great, make all the mistakes, do what you want. We're gonna make these commands happen still, no matter what. So that will be addressed, like the running and everything. That's where recall will come in handy. And then just, like I said, for a lot of other training tools, when you take the leash off, you've lost control. But for e-collar, right, our recall is not recall if you can't do it off leash. Then if you can't call your dog off leash, then what's the point of recall, right? So that's why e-collar is super important.
Cool.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, no, I'm super into that. That would be so cool. And when you said that, like, when you enter your kennel and there's like all these dogs in these crates and no one's barking, like how?
It's just being consistent. Like as the dogs come in, a lot of dogs already know what's up, right? They know they need to chill. A lot of dogs are e-collar trained, so if someone starts to whine, if we let this dog whine, the next dog whines, and then the next dog, right? So we catch it right away, correcting by prong or e-collar, whatever training tool the owner like gives us. If we get a dog that, let's say they come with a prong collar and we're correcting them to, settle down in the kennel, and it's not working, we'll email the owner, hey, your dog needs to be worked on. You're disturbing the peace, right? And we'll say, can you e-collar to correct your dog just to keep them settled? And if they're like, no, then like, well, we can't have them here because it's just constant barking, constant whining. They're messing up our kennels. They're doing crazy stuff, right? Or, get your dog trained by us or something. Get some progress here so we can continue to have them. We just need to control them. That's all. But it's just about being consistent and just correcting like the little things. Because once you get these little things out, like a little whine or a little bit, like just like even looking at a dog, and you can tell when they're about to build up. Correcting those moments is a lot easier than when the dog is full on lunging, barking, howling, and doing the whole thing. Then that's going to be harder to correct than a little like little one or a little boof, right? But yeah, it's just like being consistent. Like all trainers here are on the same page, so they know what to look out for. So it's all being correct.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Other than that, trying to think if there's anything else I'm missing.
We were worried when Kim said that the board and train is mostly like obedience training, and we're like, oh no, I didn't know that that's what it was. We were excited that you guys could handle a little bit more than that with board and train. We didn't know that was like more targeted towards the in-person training.
Yeah, it is, again, it comes down to availability, right?
Yeah.
So do we recommend in-person over board training? Technically, yes, because you learn more, right? But you've already done a lot. You know what works, what doesn't work, and then this will make a lot of sense to you because of what you've already been doing, pulling up the gently, you've done a lot of stuff, right? So this will make a lot of sense to you. But yeah, for in person, we always push that, and because the owner learns more.
Right.
It's all verbal instruction. We don't touch the dog for in-person training. We just tell the owners what to do, how to fix it, and how to go about it. For the board and train, for in-person, is the pros and cons are pros. We get it done fast. You get it. You do all the work. That's the pro for in-person. The con is it takes longer. Another con is that you have to have a certain time and availability to be able to keep up with like appointments and everything. Sometimes that doesn't happen with certain people's work schedules, right? The board and train pros and cons are pros. We get it done faster. We have dogs here. We can keep doing it, keep it consistent. Cons is that the training will be tied to us at first, right? So e-collar training is very transferable. One sec. E-collar training is very transferable. So when we work with like more than one person in like a one-on-one session, partner number one goes first, and they usually do all the hard work because they're going first. Then once we've gotten what we're looking for that first lesson, then they hand off the leash and e-collar for partner number two. Partner number two goes, and it's easy, right? Because when they press the button on 30 and partner number two presses the button on 30, it's 30. So let's say lose number is 30, right? There's no, she's stronger than him, or, she's stricter than him, or he's stronger than her, right? Because 30 is 30. There's no who's stronger than who. So that's like another great thing about e-collar, how transferable it is. And those are what those follow-up lessons are going to be for, just transferring, getting you guys to, how to handle a reactive dog in like certain situations, what to do. And then I think that will also be in like the week 2 video, because the week 1 is just the foundation stuff. Week 2 is like more advanced stuff. So in week 2, we'll do a video of like, hey, what to do when a dog's coming down the sidewalk, across the street, or like what's the best positioning, what to do with your leash, your e-collar, what number to have it on, and just like what to say, what to do in those situations. So just all that good stuff.
Cool.
Any other questions?
No, it sounds like board and train makes sense for us because she needs to be socialized and she needs to like learn how to calm her business down around stressors. So that sounds good.
Yeah, we've had that recently before. We had a dog here that had dog aggression, right? So then board and train was working perfectly for that person.
Yeah.
What else? Okay. And if anything pops up, feel free to email me. But other than that, after this consultation, I mean, you guys are already signed up and everything. It'll just be the billing and booking then after this.
Okay.
Which are technically already booked. And then payment would be either tomorrow or just, waiting for Kim to reach out to you. And I'll let her know that we had the consultation, that you're all set to arrive.
Cool.
Awesome.
Cool. Other than that, it was very nice speaking with you.
Yeah.
And then I'll maybe see you when you arrive on Wednesday. I'm not sure. I have a few sessions outside of the facility, but I'll be back later. But cool. Anything else?
Oh, thank you. No, you were super helpful.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Of course. Again, we'll see you soon. We'll keep it.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Have a good one. Thanks. You.
Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.